Thank you so much for your time. And today we're going to discuss very interesting topic, the power of QA and AI collaboration. And to be honest, it's my second talk. So first talk was previous year on TestCon, and we have new updates. And today I'm going to tell you about all of them. So first of all, let's get acquainted with me. I'm Alex Pshe, big fan of QA automation and also AI. And I'm going to share with you my career path story. So actually, I have been in testing for almost 6 years, and I joined Deutsche Bank as a software developer in test 6 years ago. It was really a cool journey. I remember I was so scared of all these cucumber tests, BDD approach. I really didn't understand why we need create all these applications for testing, and it was really interesting experience in this financial sector. After that, I decided to join more like product companies, and I already joined SEMrush as a QA automation lead. And I built from the scratch QA automation for 6 projects with different testing targets like desktop, web applications, and so on. And also I started mentoring people. It was very interesting journey. And finally, I was approached by JetBrains with new challenge in my life. It was Kadana static analysis tool. Maybe you're aware about this. And they suggest me to start from the scratch the whole automation for 6 different products in Kadana. It was Dockers, also clouds, web applications, CLI tools, different plugins like Gradle, Maven, and so on. And you can imagine how unique and not typical experience is for QA automation engineer. So of course, I was really happy to join this challenge. And finally, during several years, we built really the whole automated system with continuous feedback, quality gates on all these modern approaches. And we try to apply it for really difficult testing targets. And after that, when I already relocated to Amsterdam, I joined the next level, and it was JetBrains Aqua, which is test automation IDE, so integrated development environment. And it was really a big challenge because I had to test tool, and it also shows a lot my obsession to testing in general. And finally, I set up the whole test automation for desktop application, which is really a difficult process because of different obstacles, you have to support different machines with real farms, and you have to support isolation of data consistency on macOS, on Windows, on Linux, and all of these physical machines. So it's big. It's really a big challenge. And after that, I realized that I really love to introduce automation to different type of systems. And I decided that one project it's not enough for me. That's why I created my own company, which is called NoBugs. And we give different type of services for setting up from the scratch QA departments. Also, we provide kind of a reanimation for existing testing projects. And sometimes, something goes wrong in different big corporations, and you need independent tech advisor. So normally we are. And also, of course, we have corporate trainings. And as for AI in general, I started using AI since JetBrains Aqua, and also I built by myself several AI tools inside JetBrains Aqua. For example, maybe you're aware about AI Assistant and different QA-specific tools. And also in NoBugs, of course, we use AI a lot. And also, I spend my time as a product manager a bit in JetBrains Aqua, which helped me to get the whole overview picture of a QA tools market. And right now, I'm aware about different possibilities to use AI in QA work. And also, I'm so obsessed with AI that I even have my pet project, which is Mock Interviewer. It's, of course, for free. You can use it if you want. It's in Telegram. So if you need to prepare for your interview, you can just go there and start preparation for any type of position just by answering in voice messages the question. So yeah, normally, people time costs a lot of money, but here for free, you can just try as many times as you want. That's the whole idea. Okay, so now you can see that I've been in QA and in AI for some time, and I'm gonna present today like my experience plus my expertise in this topic. Okay, so in general, do QA use AI at work or not? Of course, normally we try to rely on real data. And real data says that yes, a lot of QA nowadays, comparing with previous year, use AI a lot in different type of tasks like test data generation, analytics reports, test case creation, regression testing, E2E testing, optimization, maintenance, actually almost everywhere. And yes, 22% of people says here that they not plan to use AI at all. And I hope if they're gonna watch our talk today, they're gonna change their mind. Okay, so is it enough information in general how to adapt to AI? Most of people say that no, it's not enough. That's why I think still it's actual to present such topic as I present today. Okay, let's start from the approach. In general, I think it's very important to understand the common idea of AI tools and also what does it mean actually to have AI in your QA tool. I separate all tools to different type of tools. First of all, it's code assistance. Code assistance is like, for example, JetBrains AI assistant. I think probably you use it. If you use any IntelliJ-based platform IDE, you have JetBrains AI Assistant is like additional paid feature. Also, you have Copilot. From my perspective, I find this type of AI assistance quite useful. Why? Because it's very difficult to replace like this software which helps you on the fly to write code. I mean, for example, with GPT, it's quite difficult to create from the scratch the same tool as just like a typical QA. But also we have a lot of our tools, like, all our test tools with all these very well-known marketing phrases like move faster and reduce cost with the power of AI, proven visual AI, a reliable no-code approach, and etc. Maximize productivity with expert AI agents, and so on and so on. So what I really like about being independent QA is that I can say what I really think. And I truly believe, like now, if you are not, if you don't agree with me, you can always like try to convince me that so far, normally most of these tools, they use GPT API. So GPT API, I think it's like OpenAI software models, and most of tools use this API inside. Why? Because it's very expensive to set up your own model from the scratch. And what we normally pay for when we use which type of QA tools, we pay for them to create their own prompt inside this tool and then to send it to GPT. But the main disadvantage of such approach is that I am, as a QA engineer, I cannot adjust this prompt. And normally I pay really like overpriced comparing with real price of GPT. So for me, it's important, as I'm trying to share my expertise, to highlight that nowadays, I think that the main thing we have to master is to master how to use GPT, because most of tools use GPT inside their implementation. Okay, and again, if you think that I'm wrong, you can send me tools which you find extremely useful and which you find like that the price for them is definitely worth it. So if you know such tools, please share it with me. Okay, what in general we should understand that we are talking about collaboration between AI and human in general, or also, of course, QA. in general, all this collaboration includes three main parameters. What does it mean? The first is instruction. And normally, if we're talking about tools, this instruction is hidden inside QA tools and well prepared from like some experts, right? Like do this, this, and this, some instruction. Also, to make the answer more relevant, we have to give context. Normally, if we have a lot of context or a lot of materials, we should give as much as we can. So it's like all project task related files, examples, existing test cases, automated tests, code, documentation, requirements, everything that we can have from the previous experience to help to generate the relevant answer. And finally, we need model. So again, the reality is like this. The most popular model is GPT models, GPT 3.5 and GPT 4. So, and based on these three components, we will have the power of the QA and AI collaboration. Okay, so the most important thing what I would like to highlight here is that we need to master only two main things. The first is open AI ecosystem, and the second is habit to delegate to AI. And based on these two important skills, afterwards, of course, we can extend our knowledge and even train your own model in future. But these steps you have to start from, and unfortunately, based on my data, most of QA, they don't have these things. So we will be focused on these two things during my talk. Open AI ecosystem. In general, right now, Open AI ecosystem includes four main concepts. It's test generation models, which we already mentioned. It's AI assistants and embeddings and tokens. We will talk only about first two concepts because the last ones, it's like really like more advanced and we need it only if we're going to train our own model or adjust existing one of ChatGPT. Okay, test generation models. It's going to be quite fast. I hope most of you already know all of this practice, but if not, it's your time finally to get it. In general, ChatGPT, I hope everyone is aware what does it mean. It's dialogue-based app to interact with GPT models via prompts. Prompts is like text, and the output is also text. That's why it's called, in general, large language model language. Okay. After that, the most important skill is how to write prompts. And here I can advise you, highly advise to read documentation. But if you didn't read before or I don't know, for some reason you want to economize your time, let's do it right now. So the first thing, you have to write clear instruction. For example, you can say generate API tests. It's not enough. You have to say generate for this type of technology, with this type of programming languages, and also provide all necessary links. Right now, AI, GPT has access to the internet, so right now it's not even a problem. After that, if you want to set up specific characteristics of or the role of your assistant, you can use special model. It's called persona. So you can say, imagine you are and something and explain the whole characteristics. And next, main important thing is delimiters. So sometimes if you give a lot of different tests, information, data in one message, you have to distinguish this somehow, and delimiters is the best way to indicate your inputs. So it can be different delimiters. I also show here you which type of can be, but just remember that yes, sometimes if you don't do it, the probability of mistake quite high. Also, you have to use steps to complete the tasks. So, for example, if you try to explain something in a lot of messages, sometimes it's really bad for GPT to understand like step-by-step instructions. So it's better from you to provide exactly steps which you want to share. Provide examples. Normally, it's called few-shot type of prompts. So, for example, you want to classify your bugs with priorities, but you have a special way of prioritization, right? And GPT is not aware about this. So you can provide previous data and to show from this data, for example, like on this example, that SEO is most important than just functionality. So yes, based on this previous information, GPT will understand what is the best way to prioritize your bugs. Also, you have to specify output requirements, and this is like very also obvious if you want to get relevant answer. Okay, this is very basic thing. So you can open this link and it's prompt examples, and just you have to read all of them. Even if you're already using ChatGPT and you never done this, you have to do this because you will see a lot of different use cases you were not aware before. Okay, how to use it in QA world? Very simple. First of all, SQL. In general, GPT and SQL are very good friends. You can show, you can, for example, generate the query to get some information. You know, like your table, you know your columns, and you need some query to get the list of names. And after that, it's going to, of course, generate the correct request query. And yeah, if someone asks you during interview, like why you don't know how to write join query, just say that I don't need to write join query. I just need to know how to explain it to GPT. Decoding, the same. For example, this is JavaScript code. I can ask you, do you know what's going on here? Okay, I even can try to wait for your answer in the chat. Probably no. So the thing is that a lot of times during our life, we can open auto tests, and also we have no clue what's going on in this code. So GPT is the perfect way to describe the whole explanation on the code. And if you send such thing to GPT, it will tell you in 1 second that this is Fibonacci numbers. So always use GPT as your like QA automation mentor to explain everything that's going on in the code. Also notes, like, of course, if you need to prepare all these formal things, you know, for at your work, just write very fast, like the main ideas, and you're going to get the whole explanation. Of course, interview questions. You saw already that I have mock interview bot. Of course, it's based on GPT API, and it's very obvious because GPT has the access to the most of all data from the internet, and of course to all possible questions and topics from different programming languages. So it will be obvious to use this power and not pay for, you know, like additional work interviews from real experts. And finally, QA replacement, like finding bugs, even if it's simple, because this one really simple, but you can measure how many seconds you're going to spend to find the mistake here. And also it's JavaScript, so probably most of you would like understand what the problem is here. And of course, if you cannot find the mistake, so it's here. Yeah, you have to cast your variables to the numbers, and the GPT would find this bug very, very fast. So many delegated tasks like generated test cases, writing test scripts, assistance, documentation, code reviews, reporting bugs, emailing, interview, a lot of. Just use it. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the more advanced topic, which is assistance. And the interesting thing is that when I presented my talk previous year, assistance didn't exist. And nowadays we have it, and it's really cool. And I'm actually a very active user. So what does it mean, assistance? We have in GPT AI Assistant Marketplace. I don't know if you're aware or not, but you can reuse someone's prompt and expertise to solve your task. And for this, you just need to open this marketplace and start typing which type of assistant you want to find. And also you can see different like stars, reviews, all these feedbacks from users who already tried this assistance. So you have QA tester, you also have here ICTQB based tester, AI software developer and test automation, manual QA interview assistant, so a lot of, and it's only first page. So first of all, you can reuse someone's experience, which is really cool. Also, you can configure your own AI assistants. How to do it? It's very simple. You have to set up your name, description of assistants, also instruction, actually it's prompt, conversation starter, how to start conversation, and knowledge. Knowledge is this component which is context we mentioned before. And I'm going to share with you my last example of AI assistant, which happened like several weeks ago. So how to use assistants with QA tasks. Recently, I got the question from my subscriber. In general, I have active social media about QA because I'm quite passionate about this. And he asked me like if I can kind of review his test task with API or auto tests and give my feedback because the task was rejected, unfortunately, during interview. And of course, I open it because it's very interesting. And before it looks like this, of course, not really beautiful. I mean, we have the room of improvements here, like data generation and general requests, but it's real case, and that's normal. And I rewrite the whole test framework, and after it looked like this. So what's happened here, I set up, of course, API services, also with all these patterns, like with CRUD interface, with overriding methods, with encapsulation, everything, like all these important patterns. Also, I created data generation, and in very cool way, I'm going to show you a bit later. Also, I created data cleaning automatically. You can see it's not a part of test because it's happening before and after test, as before and after steps. I mean, data generation and data cleaning. And also, of course, all these like simple patterns, like or principles, it's better to say, like don't repeat yourself, keep it simple, and so on. So I improved this code, yes. And for example, if tomorrow a new subscriber would send me again his code, I would like to help, but I don't have a lot of time. And I would love to share my expertise with someone else. So how to do it? Yeah, and about this data generator, funny thing I promised to show you. So test data generation here happening in this way, because normally, you know, that all of us know with hard-coded test data is bad, but normally we go into the next level when we just generate based on, you know, like fields of JSON, different parameters. But here I went even to the higher level, so I just generate my code based on class explanation or declaration. So what does it mean? For example, I have user, and user has name, and user has ID. So I asked GPT, create this data generator based on data class with random data based on type of each field in Kotlin. What does it mean? That we would go to each field of user and generate data based on type. For example, if a name is string, we generate a random string. If ID is integer, we generate a random integer. So in this case, we don't need to set up anything. Just say, okay, generate and the class, and that's all. And the funniest thing that this generator was created for me by GPT. So everything I need to understand that such idea can exist, and that's all. So then I have to ask GPT. And finally, I configure my own AI assistant, which called API Test Reviewer, of course, because I want to reuse my expertise and my knowledge. And I said to him, like, okay, you're API Test Reviewer, you have to follow instruction, and I use 2 steps. First steps, before interaction, you have to learn about main QA automation best practices, and how, the most important question. So I gave to him before a zip file and after zip file. And you can assume that in these zip files, we have my code, this first version, which was sent to me by my subscriber. And the second version is my already fixed version of his code. And I told this AI assistant, like, learn from these 2 examples, these techniques, how to apply this. And then someone gonna send you their code. You have to fix their code based on this example. Okay, so how it looks like now. anyone can send zip code with his example to my AI assistant, and my AI assistant gonna suggest all these best practices, right? How to fix this code, and why it works much more better than just in if you would send it to GPT, because it has my example and it has my understanding what does mean best practices, how to apply them. Because even this trick with data generation you cannot easily find in the internet. And that's how I share my personal key expertise and my understanding of the best practices. And you can use it. You can scan it like the QR code, because this AI assistant is public. You can scan it and you can go and try to send your code and get all these improvements from my AI assistant using my expertise. And I think it's really cool. It's real power of AI and human collaboration, because AI get the best from me is my expertise. I get the best from AI. It's the automation. Okay. So yes, my idea here, just use this and reuse your power. And also you can reuse your own expertise, or you can also get someone else by using existing AI assistants. Okay, so the next really important question is how to build this habit of delegation. And I'm gonna just share my key aspects I always follow, and I think personally I successfully built this habit. First of all, you have to invest time to delegate. It's the same, when, for example, business owners, they love to be involved in the operation processes, and they never want to finally just relax and allow the system decide everything by itself. Here the same, we have to invest time firstly, because it's new habit. You're gonna face different problems. I know a lot of stories when people are like, oh, I asked GPT something, like in the first example, remember in prompts I showed you, generate API test. And it generates some random programming language, some very bad code without any best practices. And I was like, no, this is really bad tool. I'm not going to use it. Yes, I mean, of course, if you send like this without any expertise or our important components we discussed, so of course the answer going to be really not useful. But if we want to build this habit and to get the whole power, we have to invest time. Also, you have to explain everything in real details, as you would explain to your intern, for example. And I think it's really a good trick, because when you explain everything very carefully, like in all delegation you have to do this, you're going to have really better and better results. And also you have to improve it if it doesn't work. So for example, first you try it doesn't work, just try to find another way, maybe add more details or add more knowledge, or also just sometimes you can continue in the same dialogue improvements, and finally GPT gonna understand you. And of course, the most hype question: will AI replace QA or not? In the same report which we saw in the beginning from Lambda test, the statistics from them showed that, of course, QA believe that no, and 60% of people believe that humans will play a major role. And in general, I quite agree. But still, I believe that the people who gain this skill of AI and QA collaboration gonna be more productive, and just as you see, can share expertise in more profitable and efficient way. So I suggest you start building the skill right now. And if you want to get detailed information about this talk, you can always scan this QR code and check the slides. And if you want to ask me any question, maybe invite me, or I don't know, to your talk, or if you need some help in your company, whatever, you always can write me in LinkedIn. I'm very open to help everyone, as you can see with story of my subscriber. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer it.
Thank you so much, Alex. We had a number of questions from the audience, and I'm going to jump right into them. For the first one, I'll share it on screen here. How much investment and time is needed for a company to effectively use AI in QA without it taking too much time to understand its output?
Yeah, okay, it's a good question. I'm trying to think 1 second. Depends. Yeah, I'm not sure if the company, like, we can measure it based on company. We can measure it probably based on different people. But in general, I would start from small tasks like, for example, Pairwise. A lot of people use Pairwise tools to find the most efficient group of tests you can use for this GPT. In general, or for example, you have to create test cases for some web page, and it has a lot of different elements. Just copy the HTML of this web page, send it to GPT, and ask which test cases you would prepare with the whole coverage, and you for sure 100% you would find at least one test case which you forget personally, like as a QA engineer, because you're a human being and it's like automatic tool. So I would start step by step like this, but I believe that it's like necessary investment. You cannot ignore it because it speed ups your work a lot, and you kind of delegate all manual things or things which can be calculated based on different data. For example, if we have HTML and we have requirements, so we have enough information to find test cases actually, because manually you would do the same. It's absolutely the same way, the same heuristics. So from my perspective, we cannot say about time. Okay, based on my experience, maybe like 2 months at least to involve everyone in team. Like, yes, but it's difficult to say about some estimations.
Excellent. Thank you so much for answering that question. Again, thank you so much for the insights that you shared into how you can partner with AI to make your workflows more efficient